Hello, class. I just wanted to give you a few pointers on on the lab that will be due tonight. By the time you come into class, you complete your quiz, and then you're going to complete a lab, which would be a modification of assignment 5, which is the one that was turned in today. So what you're going to do is you're going to modify it a little bit, and you're going to add a nested while loop that is going to allow you to validate the data that you will be entering. And we discussed this in class before. You can refer to slide 520, which is the one that's going to give you a little bit more insight on how to set up the algorithm itself. So what we're going to do is, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you just a few pointers as far as how you're going to set up the while loop. Again, this is not the full program. I'm just going to give you a little bit of assistance trying to explain what is it that the while loop should do. This while loop that we're going to create should be embedded in assignment 5 to create lab 5. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a new file, which I'm going to call it lab5.cpp. I'm going to insert, and of course, as I've always mentioned, your information should be the first thing that appears on that source file. Your name, your class, assignment. So again, this is just an example of how the while loop will work. What are the parameters that need to be set up for you to be able to validate the data entered? So what we're going to do first is we're going to set up first our libraries. For the purpose of this example, I just need a few variables so that you can see what's happening inside of that while loop that will validate. So I'm going to create a double migrate variable, and then I'm going to add my first prompt, which is going to be and then I'm going to capture the first entry of this variable. So this is the first step that we're going to use. We're going to capture the actual value. After we capture it, we can test it, and we can tell if the value is within a certain range. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set up my while loop and say while my grade is less than 0 or my grade is greater than 100. So again, based on the setup and based on the condition that we have here to activate our while loop, this while loop will not run unless my grade is less than 0 or my grade is greater than 100, which are out of bounds of a regular grade. So if this is the case, then we can let the user know again. Please enter a valid grade. And then we're going to capture my grade again. So first we capture our grade on the first attempt. If the first attempt is successful, then we are not going to prompt the user because it did not meet the conditions for it to go into this while loop. If the grade is outside of that particular range, then we need to go in there. We need to go into our loop, and this loop is going to repeat until the user enters a grade that is within the range that is set up. So what we're going to do now is we're going to try and run our program. Okay. So we're going to have a prompt. Please enter a grade between 1 and 100. If I enter 102, our while loop activates because that's outside of the actual range that we have set up. Please enter a valid range. If I enter maybe 200, it's going to keep on prompting until the user enters an acceptable grade. If I enter a -1, still a not valid grade. So we need to enter a value again. Let's enter 99. Okay, that was accepted by the program. Of course, this loop, this while loop, will be embedded inside your other loop that is actually being set up to prompt the grades. So every time you prompt for the grade, you test it to see if it's within a range, and if it's not, then you need for the user to enter again, so you need to prompt for that grade again. So that's the way our data validation will work in our program. So hope this quick video helps you. If you have any questions while setting up your lab, feel free to contact me. I'll try to respond as soon as possible. So try to complete the lab by the end of tonight's session. That should be pretty easy once you complete your assignment 5. It's just a matter of embedding this small loop inside of that while loop.